What's up everyone, OpSoldier here today, and today we are going to talk about something that is very near and dear to my heart as a fighting game player and something I really want to discuss with all fighting game players. And it doesn't just have to do with DNF Duel. So, the thing that I'm going to talk about today is learning how to play fighting games. I get this all the time in pretty much every fighting game I've played so far, that the reason why people don't want to play a fighting game is because of a mechanic or a character design or something that a player does not like and it causes them to drop the game. So today we are going to talk about Striker having a plus DP on knockdown and being able to guard break you off 100 meter. Well, I want to first tell you this. As a fighting game player, it is important to understand that the way that you get better at fighting games is you deal with BS. There are situations in fighting games where you need to lab that particular situation and lab the options, because the actual mechanic or the actual character might have some BS that is attached to them, but you might actually have some very good options to deal with the character's really strong option. One of my main complaints in modern fighting games is just simply the game generally allows players to mash more, like literally it allows them to mash more. That was one of my main issues with MK11, is like people think that like being given more options is better in a fighting game, but that's not true. You know, if I'm Striker here, so before we even talk about the guard break thing, let's just you know, talk about neutral in general, right? I'm Striker here and I hit you with 2B. In a Mortal Kombat game, you would be able to break, right? You would have breaker after I hit you. But why? Why do you have breaker after I hit you? I got rewarded. I hit you. I should get rewarded for hitting you, for winning the neutral. I should get rewarded for hitting you. Another good example is in MK, there's 5 wake up options. So you don't get punished for getting knocked down. In this game, there's safe jumps, which means I can block your wake up option and punish you for it. I personally think that games like this that have those things where you're locked into you're locked into a lot of disadvantage after losing a particular part of the neutral or a particular situation, I think are better, and they reward more players who really lab options and really want to learn how to deal with options. But that's my personal opinion, and that's the one thing I will always stand by when it comes to fighting games. I think that is important to understand that when I win something, you should be given less options on defense. That's just how it should be, in my personal opinion. I know some people don't agree with that and they prefer the more MK11 style of play, but I will tell you that if you go the route that I'm recommending right now, you're going to become a better fighting game player, because you're going to understand that you can't just RPS every option every time, because you'll die for it. And DNF Duel is definitely one of those games where you will die if you do not think. You'll just simply die if you don't think. So let me go ahead and talk about the guard break mechanic really quick today, because I've already kind of talked a little bit too much. So the guard break mechanic is it's exclusive to a certain group of characters, but with Striker, the main complaint we see in a DNF Duel is that Striker's DP is plus, right? It's plus, it has no gap, so it jails you, and it's a true block string. Well, a lot of people are running into this issue, and I've seen this on Twitter a lot. I'm not saying the players aren't good, I'm just saying that there are some options to deal with Striker's DP when you are going for a knockdown. So I'm going to use Striker because I play Striker, but I'm sure your character probably has some sort of option that can deal with DP. So I have Striker set to do DP on knockdown, right? So that's the DP, right? So this would mean, like, if I block this right here, Striker can cancel it. So let me go ahead and show you. You know, if she blocks it, and that's a true block string. Right, I'm not going to do the whole block string because I mess it up a lot, but let's talk about what are your options on knockdown if you do this. Well, first of all, Striker is unique herself, because if I do this combo, I don't even have to do OTG, right? And as you can see, like I can move around, so the striker player actually has to guess if I'm gonna pressure her here. Oops, I dropped it. Let's try that again. Oops, dropped it again. Let's try it again. You have to be careful because you might jump to the other side if you're playing a striker. And as you see there, I got striker to whiff her DP, trying to wake up DP into a block string, right? And if you can see here, you can't go into conversion if the DP is blocked. You can't do anything if the DP is blocked. I cannot stress how important that is to realize when you're playing a striker. Striker can't do anything off DP if it's blocked. She can't go into Tatsu, anything. Now she can do it if it's blocked, right? She can go into Oops. She can go into conversion. So let me show you really quick. I don't know where she went. Oh, I forgot. Because you still have to cancel MS. I forgot about that. But yeah, so like as you can see, like she can only go into conversion if it's blocked. She can only do a air Tatsu if it's blocked. But if it whiffs, it whiffs. She can't do anything. Now there's another option that a lot of players don't realize. So as you can see there, you know it's a giveaway. Like you can roll and punish it. So you don't even have to do the OTG. Like earlier I was showing you, right? Like you could space her out, or with the hard knockdown, right? So as you can see, you can bait that out, right? And a lot of players will tell you after that, they'll tell you she can dive kick, but I'm not going to show you here, but there's actually ways you can counter the dive kick too. So if you read she's going to dive kick, you can stop her from dive kicking you. Yeah, one thing's for sure, you can just literally just meaty her. So like if you want to just meaty her and you want to bait the dive kick while also baiting the DP, just like you would do any other save jump, you just do you just do 5A, or not 5A, 2A. And then if they try to dive kick, they'll get meatied. So they'll still get meatied if they dive kick. And if you read that they're going to do the DP, you just, instead you roll if you're doing the hard knockdown. And if you're not doing the hard knockdown, or sorry, if you're doing the OTG, and if you're doing the hard knockdown, then you just walk back slightly and then walk forward and then, or run forward or jump. And then you space it to where the DP will whiff, or you can hit 5A, or 5A, sorry, 2A, I keep saying 5A. So what is the point I'm trying to make here? The point I'm trying to make here is like, first of all, you don't even have to do this. Like you could manage your meter in a way that you won't get guard broken. So like, you know, if I'm striker here, there's so many options around this. Like it's kind of absurd that I'm finding all the options while I'm more than 50 meter. There we go. That's what I needed. Now, if I get, like now if I block it, right? Now if I block it and she goes into the MS, right? And she starts her block string, of course I'm gonna die. I'm gonna die because I don't have meter. That was my fault. I shouldn't have burned all my meter, right? Here's an example. Right? That's an example of conserving your meter. Or you can even do this combo. So you still get an OTG knockdown. Look at that. I got 302, right? I got 302. 302 and my meter's going all the way up, right? Preventing striker from being able to block string me to death. And this is the point that I'm trying to make, is like, You don't want to go into exhaustion if you're fighting Striker if you feel like you don't want to play the mind game off of her DP. Another good thing too is like maybe don't block. You know, maybe like just actually press the button and get hit by her DP. You know, I mean, I don't recommend that. I don't recommend getting hit by her DP. I recommend baiting it out or playing, you know, backing up, playing neutral, or having enough guard meter or doing a combo that recovers instantly like that. Because if it recovers instantly, you can prevent yourself from getting guard broken much easier. But that's just like, those are just like kind of some recommendations that I have. I want to stress like the reason I made this video is because I have this is going on consistently within Twitter, and I don't know if it's just like I don't know what it is. I don't know. I feel like it's the post-patch era, and like people just really don't want to learn fighting games. Like they don't want to like fight adversary, right? There's a lot of situations in fighting games I see nowadays where people are put in a really oppressive option. They feel like they have no options, and then they blame the game. When ultimately the real problem is that like they've lost neutral, or the real problem is like the character's just really powerful and they need to learn how to lab against really strong characters. There's a lot of things that go into it. Again, I'm not saying that Striker shouldn't be toned down. I'm not saying that the mechanics, the universal mechanics, shouldn't be toned down. I personally think that this game is a very over-the-top game. Striker should not be toned down, and the universal mechanics should change, like guard cancel. I definitely think guard cancel, when you do it, you should get all your guard meter back. Those are just some of my opinions. I don't think nerfing characters is going to make this game more enjoyable, and I do think players need to lab more in this game. I really do think a lot of people came into this game, they saw that Striker could guard break like this, and then they decided that they weren't going to play the game anymore. They got guard broken like one too many times, and they just decided they just didn't want to play the game. And I say that because like I say things like this all the time, like why do people not do roll? Why do people not do a hard knockdown and they don't finish the OTG part, so they just get a hard knockdown? I don't know why. I don't know why people don't do it. The only thing I can think of is that people just don't want to change how they play against a certain, you know, play style of a character, right? Like, you know, if I'm playing MK11, right, like I'm not gonna just toss fans at Scorpion because Scorpion can teleport. I'm not gonna do it. Like I'm gonna toss at a certain range, but full screen I'm not tossing a fan, because if I toss fan I'm eating 30%, you know. And it's kind of the same thing with Striker in this situation. Like, since she can guard break you, you need to be conscious that she can guard break you. You need to do things to prevent her from being able to do that. You need to change the way you do your combos to have some more guard meter. You need to change the way that you knock her down, so then you can bait out her DP and whiff punish her. I'm gonna end this video with a Twitter quote that someone made to me that is amazing. And this guy is one of the few guys that I agree with. He or she has a perfect mindset for fighting games. This is a mindset you need to have for fighting games. Don't get me wrong, you can complain about a problem, but you need to lab it afterward. If you leave a game because you don't like a design of a game, not only is the game not for you, but I don't think you're gonna go far in fighting games, because as soon as the going gets tough, or there's something that's oppressive that you really don't like about a game, you're not going to grind the game out and get better at the game. And I see this all the time with complaints with DNF Duel. I think DNF Duel is a fine game. It is definitely a more over-the-top game compared to most fighting games nowadays. I don't think that makes the game bad. I think the game is still has definitely a competitive level to it. There's definitely mind games that go along with it, and there are things you can lab in the game. With that said, if you don't like over-the-top games, this game might not be for you. But I recommend you really consider things in the lab before you just decide that a mechanic or a design of a character has no counterplay. Anyway, that's all I want to talk about today. Have fun playing fighting games. Hopefully you learned something about this. Maybe you can find something for your character that might have some sort of hard knockdown, or they have some sort of setup that can bait out Striker's DP. Anyway, I'll see you guys later. Have fun playing fighting games. Have a good fight.